Well,
Let's go.
Good morning, everyone. I'm in Hawaii. We got my good friend DJ Mikey Francis all the way in Vegas. What's up, dude?
What is going on, man? So happy to be here and be part of this new venture for you. And yeah, man, excited.
Dude, I've always wanted to start a podcast, and I didn't have time, or I made an excuse, and then ever since I left the bananas, it was like, dude, just like start one. So I hit up the guy that runs this, the No Filter Network, Eric Burns, and he got me going. So like, this is so cool, and I just try to do one once a week, and it's kind of nice just to be able to do this to like connect again with people and like connect with friends. So like that's kind of why I'm really doing it, is just to hear other people's stories, but also continue like relationships. So like that's the cool part.
Yeah, because hang out and chat for an hour. Can't beat that.
Yeah. No, you can't. I mean, and I travel so much. I'm here and there. Like this is so easy to do on the road. Just use an iPad. I do want to upgrade and get like one of those cool systems, podcast systems with the microphone that's all angled, and nice couches. Get a setup, maybe like the dream would be like the Joe Rogan setup, where you at the table, you got people running it in the background, and you get guests on and having a good time. So
Oh, that's the dream, man. Just everything. The studio, the sauna, the gym, like that's definitely like I always envision that in my life actually. Like that is my dream setup.
well, I mean, you're doing it like you got the studio in the house. You're this
Yeah.
resident DJ in Vegas now for what, over 10 years,
Yep. It's
just
been
about.
yeah, I was thinking about it pretty much since 2015. So yeah, almost
Okay, but
almost 10 years now.
you put a post on your story the other day, of all your previous jobs before DJing, or like maybe while like you were DJing. Like, what were you getting into like before your whole DJ career started?
Man, it's been a long, I would say, music career. I was an athlete growing up. I played all sorts of sports. Then I played competitively tennis and did pretty well with that. Like played nationals and played like one high school state and did that whole thing. And then right about the same time, towards the end of high school, I picked up guitar and I just fell in love. I played music as a child, but I was just like, this is it, and I wanted to be in a band. I don't know what it was. It was like that was it, right? So I had it, and at the time, it was like punk bands were the thing.
Hmm.
So started a punk band with my friends, and kind of fell in love ever since that
Were
moment.
you on vocals or mainly just instrument guitar?
I played guitar originally, just played guitar, and then as it graduated to the next band, to the next band, to the next band, I started doing vocals or doing keyboards, and then really got into the band kind of hybrid electronic scene that was happening in like mid 2000s, and then
So were you playing a
eventually
lot of
found
Guitar Hero when that
the.
came out?
I was pretty good at it. I did play my fair share of it. Don't ask me to
Hell
play it
yeah.
now, but back in the day.
Hell yeah. I remember. I think I was good at one song, that was like a Red Hot Chili Peppers one that was pretty like simple to do.
That was like the best game ever. Yeah, I spent way too
Oh,
much time on it.
seriously.
But yeah, so
Seriously.
and then I just kind of graduated into DJing and been doing that full time for yeah the last
But
almost
so
10
when you
years.
graduated into DJing, like were you doing like private gigs and stuff before you got into the club scene? Or were you doing like
So
smaller clubs outside of the strip?
so I right before I went full time into DJing, I was a touring artist. I was signed to Ultra, and it was we were DJing, but I was also singing. It was called Black Boots, and we did like Warp Tour and did a whole bunch of shows and did that for a couple years, and then it kind of just ran its course. Just for whatever reason, just kind of fell apart. And at that point, my daughter was being born, and I was just kind of like living in Vegas, trying to figure out the next move. really didn't have two nickels to rub together. Um, I was like, how can I make money doing this? And then I remember like just driving down the freeway and seeing the billboards and like some of these big DJs who I was playing with a little bit during my project, like supporting them. They were like on the billboards, and I was like, how do I want to get up there. Like that's what it
Yeah.
is. Like I'm in Vegas now. Let me just figure this out. And then for a few years, I was just grinding it out, like downtown, some really like dive bar spots, just playing whatever I could get, doing long shifts, just taking whatever I could get. And that was 2 or 3 years of that grind while simultaneously food running, bussing tables, just anything I could to pay the bills basically.
So you're just doing multiple jobs while doing the whole grind thing after the tour, and the tour was like 2 years maybe.
Yeah, 2 3 years of that project, and that was like full time, so I wasn't really working any other jobs at that point.
And
But
then
when I
and then
came,
you had to become a family man and a father, having your daughter, being born. So that's
yeah,
amazing that
so
you stuck with music and still, found ways to make some money.
yeah, it was definitely like a big turning point in my life of, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna make this work? And but I love music, and I was good at it. I felt like I was good at it, and I just it was one of those things that just kind of made me tick, and I had to do it in some capacity, even if it was just for
Hmm.
fun, whatever. I was just gonna do it, and then slowly but surely, doors kind of started opening as I was playing more gigs, and then in 2015, I landed kind of my first big residency. That was when Omnia Night Club opened, and kind of got in the door there. Right, they were looking for DJs, and I had a really good friend of mine who was one of their residents, was kind of gave me the opportunity and really took me under his wing to play with them. And yeah, then I got in that door, and they kind of stuck me in like the far, far, far back room,
What
like
wasn't there
just
two rooms at Omnia when they first opened, other than the patio?
yes, yeah, they have the
Like
patios where I played, so it was the terrace. Mostly
right, the
played there. They had a
terrace.
hip hop room as well, and then the
Yeah,
main
I was
room.
gonna say I thought they had a hip hop room because I remember going to Omnia one night and there was like you could go to the rap side and then you could go to like the DJ side.
Yep.
And so I was kind of just bouncing back and forth. And then there's one other club that has that too, right? Like older club. Is it
I think
is it
Marquis.
Hakkasan?
Hakkasan has it too. Yeah, Hakkasan
Okay.
has the Ling Ling room, and then Marquis
Yes.
has like
Okay.
the boombox room. So
Okay.
it's a pretty common thing, and usually they have like the open format or like hip hop DJs playing in the smaller room, I guess it is, just more of
Hmm.
that style, and then they'll have like the main room. And Omnia had three rooms. They had the terrace, which was like more of a house music thing,
Right.
overlooking the strip.
Yeah, that's
And
dope.
that's where they put me, which was that was a great thing because I was kind of playing house and EDM and
Right.
that more of that
And
style.
and did they give you like a free range of what you could play when you first started playing out there?
Pretty much they just kind of wanted a format of like house, vocal house, a little bit of
All right.
commercial, but they let me do my thing, which
Or
I guess it ended
right.
up working out, but you know
Yeah, because
could have worked the other way.
when did you start? When did you start producing while also playing? Or like, have you always been a producer since you kind of got into music and like the tour?
Yeah, like I've been producing since more back in the band days. I
Okay.
was recording on my bands, and then with the other project that was signed to Ultra, that was more of like the electronic thing. I was producing that with a buddy, and then when I went into full-time DJing, I kind of took a break from production and just like dove head into that because that was a big undertaking trying to become a Vegas DJ, and getting versed in that was definitely like a lot, and I didn't really have time to produce with being a dad at that point. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, fast forwarding to now, I'm producing all the time, and that's kind of like my main focus right now.
Help me understand the difference between producing and just, I guess, making music and being a DJ? Like, what is actually producing? Is that like actually writing your own song and
Yeah,
or
yeah. So it's kind of like the artist, the pure artist side, where there's an artist like a traditional artist, and he's in the studio and they're making records that you hear on the radio and that you hear in other clubs. And sometimes the artist is also the DJ, right?
mm-hmm,
Nowadays, it's kind of like the bigger DJs are the ones that are making their own music, and those become hits, and that's how they become kind of
right.
popular and rise to the top. And then there's the just the DJs. There's open format DJs who kind of just play all the hits, and maybe they make some edits and things like that, but
And
it's
just
it's not
mash
like,
it and
yeah,
remix
they're
it.
doing like more of the live DJing production thing. And there's people who do it both. It's like a full spectrum of really what's possible. But most DJs who are kind of at the local level, a lot of them are just kind of trying to produce, or they're not really making big records, but they're mostly just
Mm-hmm.
playing records, playing residencies, and
Right,
just
because
like spinning other
I mean
people's music.
to make it big, it's almost like you find that one song that you create and it goes viral, right? It's almost like on social media, you may put out one video and then it goes viral.
Hmm.
Like I feel like every DJ I follow, Steve Aoki, John Summit, Fisher, they all have like that one signature song, even like Alesso or
Hmm.
Loud Luxury. I feel like they have one song that kind of pushes not pushes like they have one foot in the door right now, but it pushes them
Hmm.
through the door, and then just
Yeah.
from there it catches on.
Yeah, it's a lot of timing. I think it's just persistence. Like, I mean, all these big guys that are making it, all of them have been doing it for so long. I think it's like, as we perceive it from the public eye, we're like, this guy's just blowing up out of nowhere, right? But a lot of
Hmm.
times they've been working for
No,
years
it's
and years and
years. Yeah,
years.
it's years.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the DJ, but he created "Summertime Sadness," and I was watching a documentary.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
know who it is? It was
Cedric
he like
Gervais
collab.
maybe.
Yes, him,
Yeah.
and he collabed with the girl to
Yeah.
sing
That
it.
I think it was Lana Del Rey maybe.
Yeah, so I saw some
Yeah.
documentary on it, and like he was, making music, producing, and playing some small stuff, and then his agent said, "Dude, this song is gonna blow up," and then he started playing that song and small stuff, played it at I think a bigger festival, and the turning point of his career was when sponsors and stuff watched his set and played that song. Then he put the volume down, and then you just hear the whole crowd kept on singing it,
Singing
and
it.
that's kind of when that moment changed from like, oh shit, like this guy's got a hit if everyone's knowing this song and singing it without the music on. So
Yeah.
like
I mean,
that's kind of
that's a
cool.
great
That's an
play.
example of like that one song. You're working for years. You play one song in a big set, and it takes off.
Yeah, I mean that's what's so exciting about, I think, producing in general, is just like you're just making stuff that you love, and you're just hoping that it'll resonate on a bigger level. And now it's so different with like everything going viral, and like it can happen literally
The
overnight.
internet,
You
dude.
know,
The
I've
internet.
seen some of that happening recently with, but even if it goes viral, doesn't necessarily mean you're selling tickets in different markets. I mean, there's a lot of complexities to it, but either way, just the power of
But you're just
social
getting
media.
noticed. Yeah,
Yeah, the
of
power of
getting
social media is
noticed.
just incredible. Yeah, to be able to do that.
So who who's been your biggest role model then? Like when you looked up at the billboards and you were like, I wanna be on there. Like who were your top two, top three DJs you were following?
I think Chris Lake has been kind of the staple for me, as far as I have so much respect for him as a producer, and just like what he's done for house music scene in general, and just how it's really exploded, because I remember hearing his tracks back in like mid 2000s, right? And this guy was just putting stuff out, and he just did different styles, and I mean, he's just been grinding, and he's just a master of his craft, and it's cool to see how far his career has grown. And now, like, I get to play with him. I get to be like
Mm-hmm.
supporting act for him, which is amazing. He's definitely one of the biggest guys that I admire. That's just been doing it for so long, and just an example of persistence and working on your craft over time can pay off.
Right.
I would
I
say.
mean, the fact that you've known him since early 2000s, I didn't hear of the name Chris Lake until maybe 2021. Like,
Yeah.
because all I listened to on Spotify or even when I was on Pandora is like just the mainstream stuff. Like Steve Aoki's
Hmm.
been around like a while, Tiesto,
Hmm.
Avicii, like those were the three main guys. So it's like, dude, I've never heard of Chris Lake until 2 years
Until
ago,
now.
and yeah, and then
Now he's
this
huge.
past year, I got to watch you open up for him at Marquee Day Club, during a pool party.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah.
um, that was
Yeah, so that's
really really
cool.
cool.
It's great to see that. It's inspiring. It's like it keeps me going, and it keeps me just motivated and inspired
Hmm.
to keep doing what I'm doing and making progress. You know.
Now, how do you get one of those DJs that you support, and they just like Mikey, come with me to EDM or come with me to one of the festivals in Ibiza, or like
Yeah.
Tomorrowland. How do you get them to just be like, Mikey, come with me, open up for me? Like, is that
That's the
possible?
question.
Like,
I don't.
I don't know what the route is, but like,
Anything's possible. Anything's
right.
possible. No, I know a handful of guys bring their own support
Uh huh.
DJs on a lot of shows, and I think it's just having like a great relationship with that DJ and working that out. I would say that's more of a rare case,
Hmm.
but it's definitely possible. I would love that situation.
I mean,
I
because you look
think
at a list and you see the headliners, and then you see all these little names, in that box where they show who's playing on each day. It's like, I've never heard of any of this. Like, Mikey could be in
mm,
there.
yeah, I think nowadays it's a lot of artists are paving their own way with their own sound and their own labels, and like John Summit has Experts Only, that's his label, and he kind of champions his artists that he signs underneath it, and he throws his own festivals and he brings them on as support. So really just making music for certain types of labels that you would want to be on, to get those opportunities is good. For what I'm doing in Vegas, it's slightly different path, but as more of like an artist, somebody who's interested in festivals and touring, I think that's the route.
Okay,
Just producing
so
music and
it's just different paths. Like you're on a different path, being a resident DJ in Vegas. Other
mhm.
people have gone to the more festival route path, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I guess it's just really cool to know that not everyone goes through the same thing as you, where you start slow and like the goal is maybe to get into a festival. It's more like maybe they just had a break and they went that route and did other things with labels like John Summit and stuff
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
So
For sure. I mean, I think the Mikey thing is right now it's very Vegas, and I'm doing really well and playing at the
hmm.
clubs, and it is what it is. It's great. But at the same time, I'm just a resident DJ. So
Right,
it's hard, it's almost got a ceiling to it, right? So what I've been
but you
focusing
can
on the
break out.
last yeah, like yeah, for sure. I mean, what I've been focusing on the last 6 months is like another project that is more of like an artistic DJ project. It's got a different alias and producing originals, and just like using my connections and friendships in
Hmm.
the Vegas thing to push these records, and then hopefully kind of break out into more of the festivals and the bigger
Right.
shows.
So what you're working on now, your project, would that be considered like an album or a label, or like what are you actually working on?
So it's called Human 404, and it's just an artist project. I have a bunch of records that I'm finishing up. I'm doing some cover songs, which has been pretty cool. Like I did, just finished In Excess, Need You Tonight, but it's got me on vocals, and
Oh, sick.
kind of like a modern style of it. And then I did Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night, me on vocals, more of like a modern, it's like melodic techno, tech house, style to it. Then I have a handful of originals and collabs with some other artists, and that hasn't gone out yet. So I'm just kind of building that brand behind the scenes.
Hmm.
And then I also have a label with that, Elevated Frequencies, which I'm going to be releasing some music on and doing a whole promotion and DJ servicing and all that to try to build that brand up.
Okay.
Almost separate from Vegas. Like I'll keep the Vegas thing. It's great. Like it's
Hmm.
awesome.
And it's
This will
home
be
for you,
like,
so it's
yeah, it's home. I mean, I'm gonna keep doing that. But this is just like a passion project,
hmm.
kind of hoping to align with like the bigger DJs and get on some bigger shows and bigger festivals, travel a little bit.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, so that's the
Um,
plan.
and then do you is there like do you have a Spotify? Like if somebody was to type in DJ Mikey Francis, do you have like a whole like all your songs and stuff?
So I haven't really released much music under Mikey
Okay.
Francis. I think I have maybe one or two remixes that I did, but again, it's just like the focus has been this other thing. So I don't have a lot of records under the Mikey Francis name on Spotify. I
Okay.
have some mixes up and things like that, but if people want to hear me, they come to the clubs in Vegas and
Right.
that's where they'll catch me. I mean, I'm all over the place doing that. So
Now,
that's
do you use SoundCloud? Because I remember SoundCloud used to be like this almost this underground platform of mixing and mashing and putting songs together and finding songs and artists that you've never heard of before. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So it was amazing back. It actually got my first project started back in like 2010. Like it blew up on SoundCloud doing our own
hmm.
like remixes and mashups, and then it just like died really bad for a few years with a bunch of copyright infringement stuff.
Of
No,
course.
just got oversaturated, and now it's kind of it's come back up again. I find a lot of great music on SoundCloud, a lot of new artists. So it's a really good hub now, I think, again,
Yeah,
for
I
especially
think.
for DJs.
Yeah, because I feel there's more DJ stuff than there is like singers. More DJ EDM rather than the pop, country, all that stuff.
Totally. Like if
Right.
I need like music for my sets in Vegas, and I know I need like a remix of a popular song that's out, I can go to SoundCloud and I can probably find like 5 or 10 that are pretty good that I can choose from, and that's the best place to go for that, for me. So it's definitely useful. It's on its way up again, but it is more of the DJ scene music, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember um, I used to get a couple songs off of that just because a friend like referred me to it, and I didn't really care for it.
Hmm.
But I found some songs that I was able to like, oh, I really like, and then I went on Spotify and it couldn't find it for like a couple weeks, and then it finally got onto Spotify. So it's just
Yeah,
cool to see how songs transfer or blow up and other platforms take it.
it's definitely it's cool. I mean, I think now like TikTok, it seems to be the at the forefront of exposing music to a massive audience. Um, so I haven't really scratched the surface too much of that yet, but it just seems like that's the trends now, and
Hmm.
a lot of DJs are putting their mixes and music out and short form clips, and
Right.
getting a lot of exposure that way on TikTok.
I'm actually hating TikTok a lot because unless the sound is original, like I can't
Mhm.
just type in a name of a song and I can use that sound.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
won't let me, and I that's like because of the copyrights and all that stuff. But you
Hmm.
used to a couple months ago, and I guess they're cracking down on it. But I'm
They're
actually
cracking
hating
down.
TikTok because it's like I go through all the videos and people have the song on it, and it's not the original form or it's not a original form, and it's like, well, how the hell did they get it on? So I don't know
Yeah.
if people are playing it in the background and they're just posting the video, or I mean,
Yeah, that's definitely a major issue.
pros and cons of TikTok can just suck
It's,
it. I
it
mean,
sucks the artists aren't getting paid for that either. So,
right.
yeah.
But I mean, if you got a TikTok and you get videos blowing up, it's like I saw this one girl posted this little video just saying, I can't believe when I posted this, I made over 10,000 bucks on one video. So it's because she had over like 35 million views, you know.
That's
So
unreal.
I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid, and
Yeah.
that's why people say post every day, because you don't know. I don't think anyone gets the algorithms of when people are on, how how it works for certain people's TikTok, but you post
Yeah.
every day and you hopefully get one.
Yeah. I mean, I think with, I'm trying to just figure out what I want to make an impact, at the end of the day, like with whatever I'm posting.
Hmm.
The Mikey Francis stuff is like, it's fun, it's party, it's club, it's Vegas. But with the other project, like I want to talk more about who I am as a person, what I like to do, my processes, my mental health, my physical health, and just hopefully add a little bit of value along with just entertainment value and music
Right.
to people and just be able to connect with people. So that's kind of my hope, and I think that'll make it a little bit more fun rather than just trying to chase what's the
Just
next trend today. What are
right,
we
right,
doing,
right.
guys?
You
Um,
want to create music that is telling your story, and hopefully other people can connect and like relate to that, right? Because like
yeah,
you're
I
gonna do
mean,
music, but it's just using a label or using an album to create something of your own that's more original and
yeah, for sure.
kind of tell the whole DJ Mikey Francis story rather than the Las Vegas Mikey Francis.
Yeah, because people can come and see me, and I might be playing different styles every night,
Hmm.
depending on who I'm playing with, and it's a beautiful thing to see everybody coming together and dancing, and like I kind of get to orchestrate that, so it's just an
Right.
incredible opportunity. I'm so grateful for that. At the same time, this other project gives me a little more freedom to have a voice and be able to write lyrics and have a message and impact people on a little different level. It's
Yeah,
more of
dude. No,
a like a passion thing,
I
just
get
being
it,
able to do that.
and I'm waiting for that to come out because all I've seen right now is Las
Yeah.
Vegas DJ Mikey
Yep.
Francis, and being able to come in the booth with you for your openings, and I have yet to go to one of your headliners, which I plan to do, hopefully soon. But the coolest part is going in your booth, no one's in there. And usually it's just me because I'm traveling solo, so like that's some of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. And then if I'm lucky enough, I can stay for the headliner set, which I was able to for a couple guys. Um, but dude, I mean, I've been so grateful for you to like allow me to come in there, and then I just gotta like tell security like, hey, here's the text from Mikey, like he said it's cool, and they're like, yeah, like you only got like 30 minutes, because the headliner's coming on, and
Yeah.
so like it's
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure having you. And it's funny because it's such a different experience. Like I guess a lot of people don't know, but when I do a support slot for a big headliner DJ, like I'm opening the club, so it's empty.
mhm. It's
There's
empty at
nobody in
10
there.
o'clock, right? You're
There's
starting at
nobody
10.
there. I usually play about 3 to 3.5 hours,
No one until
kind of
around
building the
12:30.
audience, like seeing how the floor is, trying to build it and build the vibe and the energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then over time, things pack up a little bit, get a vibe going, and then the headliner goes on for 2 hours, and then I come back on at the end of the night for about an hour, hour and a half, whatever,
For
and,
all
and
the
kind of
people
close
trying
it
to
out.
chug down
Yep.
their bottles at the table or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's so cool for me because now I don't want to go to a club unless you're playing, just because I used to be one of those people on the floor getting smashed around playing, paying for $80 drinks, and that was an experience in itself. But now, like, I won't even come and drink when I'm like in the booth unless you offer me a drink, then I'll have one. But I just love
Yeah.
like seeing it from the opposite side, like, dude, like the entertainment value from my side of you being an entertainer and a DJ hyping people up, like
Yeah.
that's what gets me fired up, is to see you do your thing, and like people are focused on you, man, and they're focused on the vibes going on and the sounds. So like that's really really cool to see.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience, and then when I get to be the headliner, which is a few times a year, at the
Hmm.
various clubs. I mean, that's where it really I get to go to the next level, and it
Yeah,
feels like
bro.
my night. It feels like my
You get to
night, and
orchestrate
it's
it all.
special. It's special. I'm not just building it up for somebody else. Like it is my night, and I have an amazing support DJ who builds it up for me, and then I,
Do you bring
hopefully hit a
that
home run.
support DJ on for every headliner,
Yeah,
or
so
you
we have a
change it up?
handful of residents that
Okay.
do all the different DJs, and basically they plug me in with DJ Mondo. He usually does my supports. He's an amazing guy and a great DJ, and we kill it together. It's a teamwork thing.
Yeah. I mean, it
But
has to be like every time you open up for someone and the headliner comes in, like you guys are always like having a little small talk right before he goes on, dabbing you up and stuff. So it's really cool to see like they support you, just as much as you supporting your openers, and like just to see that DJ relationship, friendship that everyone has, and like respect. Like
yeah,
that's so cool to see. Like Steve Aoki, one of the probably the biggest DJ ever, in this world. Everyone knows him, but like you open up for him, and he'll dab you up and have you come and play with him even sometimes. Seen a couple
yeah,
posts where you're playing like a couple songs with him.
yeah. Steve's
So
been so cool, man. Like I remember opening for him. They just threw me on a Steve night randomly, and then I guess he liked me because it was like I was on every Steve night after that, and then he just kind of,
yeah,
he was just like he would be really cool, like on and off, and I'd get to hang out with him a little bit and DJ with him after, and he was just a really cool experience and great vibe. And at the end of the day, it's like we're just servicing everyone else, like we're trying to
you
bring
guys are
this.
providing a music
Yeah,
service and
yeah, we're
entertainment
just
of feel good
yeah.
vibes.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're in the service industry, so we try to do our best part, and anytime we can work
Right.
together and have fun, I mean that's a great thing for
Whether
everybody.
whether the fans are on a substance or not, it's
That's in question, right? Yeah,
yeah, we don't know,
yeah,
but
yeah. We don't
but
know.
that's so cool to see. Um, but what's so funny is that when you started on the terrace at Omnia, my first night meeting you, you played on the terrace, and that was my first time ever at Omnia, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
And the crazy story about meeting you was I was in Vegas. Don't know why, really. I think I was going to meet one of my friends. He's the tattoo artist, and I wanted to get a tattoo. So I drove in for like 2 nights, if that.
hmm
What, 2015?
yeah. I think it
Maybe
was
16.
2015, 15, 16. Yeah.
But at the time, I was on Tinder, and that was when Tinder, the dating app, was the best one around. And I ended up matching with a girl, and I told her to meet me at a sushi place. Um, with my buddy, we had sushi, and then she's like, "Hey, do you want to go to this festival or concert thing?" And I was like, "Well, I'm supposed to get a tattoo tonight," and it was early. It was only like 7, I think. And so we go to my buddy's place. I don't know what the heck I want still. So it's like, we screw that. She's like, well, let's just go to the concert thing. So we get in an Uber. We go to the concert. And she's like, yeah, I got some friends that were meeting there. And it's you and Madison.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what was going on. I think that was probably my first festival concert. It was in these
Really?
tents. Yeah, it was in these tents,
Yeah.
right? Like those big white tents.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
might have been
Basically like a rave, like
yeah,
a
it was
downtown
a
event
huge rave. It
center.
was a downtown rave by somewhere by Fremont, I think, like
Yeah,
right outside of
yeah.
Fremont. Um,
Might have been Chris Lake playing actually.
Dude,
I don't
I
know.
have no
I've
idea.
I've seen a handful of shows down
I
there.
wish I still had videos, but we were just in the back vibing. Um, and then all I remember really was you saying like, "Hey, I got a set at Omnia to go play now." So we had to leave at like 9:30 or something, or 10.
Yeah, yeah,
And we drove there, got to the club, and that's the first time I got to see you play at Omnia. Probably at the beginning of your Omnia journey.
Yeah.
And
That
ever
was
since
funny.
then, like, we've kept in touch. And the funny thing about that night was, I don't know if you got to close in the main club area, but for some reason we were in the DJ booth there
Okay.
at the main stage, and I remember falling asleep at some point.
I mean,
I
it sounds
was
like a long day.
it was a long day, a long night. Dude, I
At some
fell
point, you gotta go
asleep,
to bed.
bro. And I could tell you exactly where I fell asleep. Like, the stairs that go down kind of into the pit, like the main, like, DJ
Yeah.
booth.
Oh yeah. There's a
On that
comfortable
little
couch right there.
platform. No, yeah, but I didn't fall asleep on the couch. I fell asleep on like that tile
The
platform.
platform. Yeah.
Yep.
That's where you were.
Right,
Wow.
right. And I remember just
That's a
waking
long
up
day.
like, oh crap, man, this is embarrassing. Like, I'm on a Tinder date. I just meet some new friends. That's a DJ, super cool people.
Yeah, don't worry. This is my buddy. I just met him. He's
Yeah.
fine. He's just taking a little nap. He'll be up in any minute now.
I mean, I must have drank a lot that night, but I felt fine the next morning. Ended up driving back to Arizona, and never heard of that Tinder date ever again. And to this day, I try to ask you guys what her name was, or if you've ever gotten in touch with her. But she's long gone. I know she was a foreign girl because she had an accent.
Yeah.
But ever since then, dude, it's been we're at year 9 now.
Well, you made one friend out of it, so there you go.
Well, 2.
Maybe 2.
You
and
Mads.
Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
But
that's cool though. That's a cool story how we actually, kind of randomly connected, and then here we are. Like, we've been just stayed in touch, and I mean, yeah, it's just like with you, it's just like it was always easy. We could always hang out, talk, whatever we did. It was few and far between, but it just never. It felt like there was no time there. It was just like, hey, what's up?
No, like you were
Let's
doing
go.
your thing. I'm playing baseball, and whenever I'm in Vegas, I'm like, hey, let's see what Mikey's doing. He's like, well, I got to work tonight. If you want to come by.
Yeah, and then we came and saw you play baseball.
Yep. And then when the party
family.
Animals and Bananas came, I got you some tickets, dude. Brought the family, and your son and daughter absolutely loved it. So that was really cool to see.
That was the start of their baseball career, actually. They didn't even watch baseball really until that. That was their first baseball game, believe it or not. So
and
they thought
probably
that was
had no
like,
idea it was even a baseball game until it started.
Yeah. They were like,
this is circus.
This is the best thing ever, right? So yeah, from that moment, now I'm playing baseball with my kids and softball and coaching and doing all that.
No, dude, that is
Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, man, you gotta be a dad, bro.
Great.
You gotta.
It's great. I love it.
You gotta get that kid into some sports and keep him busy. Who knows? Maybe he'll be a big leaguer one day if he sticks with baseball, and then you can come up with a walk-up song for him.
There you go. Dream fulfilled.
Or maybe he's like, Dad, I love music, or I love entertainment, and he follows in your footsteps. You never know. So
yeah, that's what we do as parents, man. We're just here to champion them and guide them, but ultimately it's like it's their choice, right? We gotta guide them as best we can, but it's ultimately their choice and what makes them individuals and what they love.
Right.
It's just
but like you're working so much. I felt at times every time I saw you, I'm like, well, who's with the kids? Like Madison. So I feel like they've been growing into mama's kids now. Just because she's the one spending most of the time. I mean, I know you kind of have settled down during the winters, where like you're not working as much. But I remember the one I think early fall, you were like 6 days, 7 days straight.
Oh yeah, that was that was a rough weekend. So I'll have those. Well, first of all, shout out to Madison, the best, most amazing wife and partner, because I really couldn't do without her, and she's just an amazing mom, and it's fun to
she is so awesome. Do that. And it's not even a year married, right? But you guys been together for a while.
A long time, 13 years. But we got married less than a year ago. Finally. We had to have kids first,
Yeah, I mean, you got to do it your way, man.
Yeah.
You know,
But
but that's really cool to
she's
see.
been amazing, and it's kind of funny because the majority of the time I do work at night, so I am home with the kids a lot during the day,
Hmm.
and then actually I kind of put them to bed, and then I'll go to work a lot.
Right,
So
because you don't
when I'm
work till
not
late.
busy during the day, yeah, so sometimes they're like, "Do you even have a job, Dad? Like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing?"
Well, just wait
I
till
see
you're
these videos.
yeah, just wait till you're 21, and you
Yeah,
can come and
right.
watch me work.
Yeah, it was funny the other day. Like I showed a video of me headlining Omnia to my son, and he was like, "Wow, that's you? Like up there on stage doing that? Like that's pretty cool. All right, can you like make me some lunch now?" Like he was not
Yeah,
impressed. He's just
he's
like,
just
"Whatever."
attention
That's
deficit, man.
cool.
You don't get hard feelings over it. You know, it's just a kid. He's like, oh, okay, cool, Dad, but like, I really want to talk to you because I need some lunch or I need you to do my
Yeah,
homework.
yeah, I love that though. It's all about the real talk with my boy.
What grade are they in?
So River is in first grade, Scarlett is in third grade.
Man, they're growing fast.
Yeah, they're growing up quick. And
What do
then I
you?
have my older daughter, Tiger Lily, so with my previous marriage. She is 13. She's in eighth grade. She's amazing. She's in
Look
just
at that.
a
That's news to
force.
me. I didn't even know you had a third kid.
Yeah, yeah. She's a force. She's all into theater and just total badass. And she's
And
so cool.
does she live in Vegas?
Yeah, she lives in Vegas. We'll see her on the weekends as much as we
Okay.
can. She's very busy with her theater life, but every time we can,
Do
we
you
hang out
think
with
she'll be
her.
a big actor in Hollywood?
I don't know. I mean, if she puts her mind to it, she can do anything
Yeah,
she wants. She loves Broadway and theater. My guess is she's gonna move to New York and do Broadway, but we'll see.
that'll be really cool. But it's really cool to see that she's a big sister to River and Scarlett.
Yeah, they
You know,
adore
like,
her.
do
She's
they look at
amazing.
her like as a big sister?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
She is the big one, and
yeah.
it's like there's a
She's the bigger,
hierarchy.
taller one. Yeah.
There's
No,
a
yeah.
hierarchy when we're together. There's that hierarchy, and yeah, she's amazing. I'm super blessed, man. I have an amazing family, and very grateful.
Yeah. And now you've had the opportunity to get into the new club, Live.
Yep.
What is that like, dude? Because you opened up for the opening night for John Summit, right? That club opened. Was it
Yeah.
Fontaine? Fontaine Blue is like the name
Yeah.
of the resort, or
Yeah. Yeah. So Fountain Blue. I guess it started in Miami, I believe. So it was like a pretty big spot in Miami, and then lived in
right? Because
Miami,
they have a Live in Miami.
right? And so they opened up the property in Vegas in December, and just kind of got the call to come over and play some of the shows. Mostly still Omnia, but I'm doing some stuff there. I
Yeah,
played with John Summit on the opening weekend. That was pretty
that
wild.
was
It was fun.
intense. I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, the first night was actually more intense because it was like a private party, like black tux with celebrities, and that was
Oh,
actually
so
the most
you
nervous I've ever been ever
like
DJing.
playing something like,
Straight
oh
up.
shit, I got some big timers in here,
No,
and
I mean, I turned around and it was like Lenny Kravitz and like Kim Kardashian and Justin Timberlake all in the booth, like Peggy Goo,
all like
like just right behind
within
me.
arm's length, like
Yeah,
you
and
can
I
grab
was
them.
just kind of like, actually, I was like very nervous. Like I don't typically get nervous, and I was just like,
Right.
oh my God, kind of have like imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here? Why am I here?
Why
Like,
am I here? I got
what is going
got these
on?
superstars around me.
Yeah, but
You should have made Lenny Kravitz come on the booth with you.
he's just so damn cool, man. He's so cool. Like I remember him being as a kid, like this guy was just like the biggest rock
Yeah,
star to me. I idolized Lenny Kravitz, and he looks the same age, and he looks
dude,
just
he
actually
doesn't
cooler
age.
now. It's incredible.
I mean, he might be an AI now or something. Who knows?
Yeah, seriously.
All these celebrities so
Um,
much money, they're just creating AIs of themselves, and their bodies are dead somewhere.
right, right. Live is cool though. A lot of DJs kind of stick to one club,
Hmm.
and I
I mean,
if I have
you're
the
signed with Tao
opportunity.
though, right? You're signed with Tao Hospitality
Yeah, like
currently
Tao Group is my
right at
main
the time.
one, but
Hmm.
we got I got the blessing to do a few shows with Liv, and it's great because it really pushes you out of your comfort zone, which is where
Yeah, it
the
did.
growth happens there. When
It got you
you're
nervous for the first time in a
at
long,
Tao, I'm comfortable, right? And it's like
right? Because it's
I
what
know
you're
the
used to.
rooms, everything's
Yeah.
cool, like, but then I get thrown into this new space with new people, and it was a lot of pressure, and it was really challenging, but at the same time, like I grew exponentially in just a short period of time. So that was awesome. That's all I can ask for.
When you went into that first night, opening night, did you have a set planned on your drive, and you're like, oh shit, like fuck, I better turn it up more because of who's in the crowd and who's around.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Did
happened.
you ever like think that like damn I I gotta play some bangers.
It was it was one of those things where I feel like only experience could have prepared me for that because I was I was slotted to open for Peggy Goo, who is a very artistic, very underground house, like very niche style of music.
Hmm.
So I wanted to do a proper job on that and play a very underground,
Right,
vibey
just
set.
a low
Uh,
vibey thing,
yeah, that was the
and
plan.
so that
And then
John
I
Summit
walked
comes on
in.
and just knocks it out.
That was the second night, but the first night that was the plan, and then it was the private event. So it was like the crowd was like CEOs, a lot of older people. It was a very commercial,
Big
corporate,
big time
very
money
corporate
stuff.
crowd,
Yeah.
like big time money, and my set would have just probably got me fired on the spot. So I had
Like the
to
pre
make adjustments. I had to make adjustments
But
to
like you were
cater.
planning on playing the same set back to back nights.
The next night I
Or
planned a different set. That was the actual grand opening with John Summit, and
right.
that was more to the
The
public, so
previous
it was
one was a
more of a
soft
proper
opening.
set.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the one that was challenging because it was very corporate and it was just not what I was planning. So I kind of had to think on the spot and
So
dig
did you
back and
sit
dig
at the
deep.
spot that you're at right now and be like, all right, how am I creating my set for this opening night? Like, did you have to
So what
sit
I
there and do
do,
some homework? Like, what is your typical like routine for planning a set or even like a headline?
so my process is very fluid. I'll just put a folder together and throw 200 to 300 songs in there
Hmm.
that I'm feeling at the moment that I like, but I don't have any plans really at all. I just kind of wing it and just vibe off the
Right.
audience and see what people and just kind of throw some things out, see what's working. It's a very in the present moment type thing. I don't really plan out any of my sets per se. I have music and folders of different styles
You just have an
and maybe
outline,
directions. Yeah, if you would say
like an
that.
outline of music, and then when you get to the turntables, you're literally choosing a song and putting all the beats on it and whatnot.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have for my headlines I have one or two tracks to start with that are like
Hmm.
intro tracks or all right,
Right.
I'm gonna just start the night like this and then let's see where it goes.
Right.
But when I do my opening sets, I'll have a format based on the headlining DJ. If it's a house night, I'm gonna play more house music. If it's more of big room festival EDM, I'll play that. If it's a little more commercial, I'll play a little more commercial. But it's just a basic outline, and then
Mm.
I just kind of feel it from there. Because the crowds in Vegas are different, all the time. There's
Oh,
people
every
from
night it's
all over the
different, bro.
world. There's conventions happening. There's all these different audiences all the time, even if
Are
it's the
you
same
playing during
headliner.
Super Bowl week?
Yes, I'm playing a lot. It's gonna be a crazy week. Yeah,
Frick,
yeah,
I wish I could be there for that one.
yeah. That's
That
gonna be
would
a
be
good
fun
one.
to see the crowds there. Because I feel like there will be crowds at 10 o'clock if you're opening. Like
Yeah,
there is going to be people in there already because they're like, well, it's Super Bowl week. Over 500,000 people is what I heard is coming to Vegas. So every
yeah,
club is going to be starting to fill out from the time it opens.
yeah. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that one. It's
Where are
gonna
you
be a
playing?
long weekend.
What's your schedule for that Super Bowl
That
coming up?
weekend, I am back to back to back at Live, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you
And
like
then
that more
I
than
think
playing
Omnia
your
Thursday.
okay. So
So Thursday, Friday.
do you like the opportunities that live more than your usual Tao places like Marquee, Omnia, Hakkasan?
It's just
Or is it just like what they want
it's
to schedule?
it's just it's not like I like one more than the other. It's just, really I wanted to kind of stick align with certain artists. John Summit, for example, he was going to Live, so I'd like to play those shows if possible, just so I can kind
Okay.
of stay in that format and
Okay.
build those
All right. Like
relationships.
instead of changing one and you're like got to change course on how you play, how you present, how you do everything,
Yeah,
right?
just trying to stay more in line with the sound that I represent.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's not possible every time, but as best as I can, and
Right.
just keep growing and changing. So I love it all. Any chance I get to play is amazing,
Yeah.
wherever it is, and it's
Who
all a blessing, man. Just being able to play.
who are you supporting Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
John Summit, Calvin Harris,
Dude, that'd be sick.
and Tiesto.
I have yet to see TS though, so maybe I say screw it and come up Sunday.
Yeah, he was. I hadn't seen him play in years, and I
Well,
played
because
with him
he's
the
one of the
other
older
weekend.
guys, right? So I feel he does a lot more behind the scenes stuff now. He's not
He's
too
older,
much
but he's so relevant.
right.
He's releasing so much music all the time, and it
He's
was
like
such a good show.
releasing stuff. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I think TS is the best, but it just seems like now that he's older, I just feel he stays off the camera more. Like he's still like
yeah,
releasing music, making music, but he's not putting his face out as much.
possibly.
But
I know
maybe
he
he
just.
is like at the bigger festivals though.
Yeah,
You
what's
know, like
interesting about him? He's kind of a groundbreaker. He's one of the first DJs in Vegas this year in 2024 to play both Tao Group and Live. So he has some shows for Tao Group, some shows for Live, and I think he's catering it to the different room sizes. Like the Omnia, it's going to be more of his big festival stuff,
yeah,
and the
huge.
Live is going to probably be more like Vibe smaller. It's a little smaller club,
Well, I
which is
mean, we
cool.
could
I mean,
say
it's
you're
so cool to see that.
groundbreaking too. You're between Tal and Liv, you know.
I guess you could
You
say that.
you did it, and
Hey,
you were the first one to do it, being an opener.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, you're the
it
first, dude.
worked
Come
out,
on, you got to give yourself way more credit than like what you're giving yourself, because that's
Yeah,
sick,
I
dude.
think it was a unique opportunity in time, and it was culmination of like good relationships over a long period of time, and
Yeah, I
working
mean,
hard for people on both sides, and just building trust, and being able to do that, to be given that opportunity. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so far so good though.
well, hey, you're doing something right, because if you're creating relationships with all these guys behind the scenes in all these clubs and hospitality groups and the DJs, and you're sticking around and climbing the ladder like that's. I feel like that's if you're not being that lucky DJ to just jump the scale, like your path has, I think, truly been amazing on your climb to success and sticking it out and getting to be the face in front of the headliner. Because by the time the headliner comes on, like all the people are there that came to see the headliner are still going to see you.
Hmm.
Like every time I'm in your booth, I'll have at least 5 people come up to me and say, "Hey, who's this DJ?" Talking
Yeah.
about you. So like that's really cool to see because they came to see the headliner, not you, but they're like, "Shoot, who is this? I got to follow him."
Yeah, it's amazing. It's all repetitions, man. Like I look at it like just practice, 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 practice.
Yeah,
Building relationships, like just you know what I mean. Just practice, practice, practice. So for when I do get bigger opportunities, I'm just ready. Because I've done it so much, and that's the idea.
dude, and bigger opportunities are coming. Especially with Super Bowl there. So I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
that's going to be some big time. I feel a lot of big people are going to be there agents, corporations. I mean, just people that's going to be in the music industry and just entertainers. I feel like, who knows, maybe something happens, dude, and you just like, hey, do you want to go play a couple big festivals this year? You know, or somebody signs you to some big deal. I mean, who knows? I don't know how the business world works, but dude, I can't wait for the day that you sign some big contract and, you know, like you're able to travel on private jets and stuff. Like that's what I see. So
Hey, I love it, man. Hey, the bigger question is, are you going to be there for Super Bowl?
Oh, I'll be there. For Super
Now you're
Bowl,
thinking about
I don't know. I'm planning on being in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii now, but I plan on being in Arizona for the Super Bowl because it's also Waste Management Weekend there. The golf tournament.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
1 second. Otis!
Yeah.
There we go. Dog's barking.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Waste Management Weekend's there, and I kind of got into pickleball. So I'm going to meet one of my mentors and best friends there to go play some pickleball, hang out, and, you know, just go back to a state and a city that I'm very fond with from playing baseball.
I love that, man.
But you never know.
Pickleball's fun.
Well, I got into tennis because of this guy.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's like, dude, pickleball is where it's at. You know? So I'm like, dude, but like I love tennis because it's like you still got to use agility and speed and quickness. And then I remember one time we were playing tennis and we saw these old ladies playing pickleball next to us, and we're like, yeah, dude, we're way better than that. Like, we're not going to stand in one spot and just go like this. Like, come on. Like, where's the athleticism in that? And then I hear Eric Burns, the founder of this No Filter Network platform. He wants to, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'll say it anyway. He wants to break the world record for most pickleball games played in 24 hours. So,
and he's going to do it.
Yeah, because he already holds one world record for the most rounds of golf and most holes played in 24 hours.
No
way.
He
literally, he used one club, he rented out one course and played it over and over and over again for 24 hours.
I love that.
He has the record for that.
Man's got some goals. Really cool. I love that.
Yeah. Dude, this guy is insane. He's hard to keep up with, but he's an amazing person. So if I can ever get Eric Burns to meet you, dude, and he's got a lot of connections too, maybe he can bring you out to some shows and some party things, events that he does too, and you can go DJ and stuff. So like that's
let's play some pickleball first, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, dude.
I love it. We'll do it. I love playing, man. It's fun.
Yeah, well, I'm now taking my paddle with me.
Jumping on the pickleball bandwagon.
Everywhere I go now, because I'm like,
you got it.
Man, I can do this.
Getting serious.
Like, I might not be able to keep up with like Nadal and Federer and stuff, but I can play pickleball.
Yeah, it's the great equalizer, you know? It really is.
Because I'm watching on YouTube all these pro pickleballers, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm more athletic than this person right now. Like, yeah, I probably will need some practice. I'll get my ass kicked, but you give me some time, I'll actually be better.
I know.
So I think that's well, that's what I need to do, and I think that's the next venture after baseball. So we'll see. Hey, my dad also wanted to say hi and thank you again for
love your dad.
The opportunity to see one of your sets at Wet Republic opening up for Steve Aoki back in September. He had a freaking blast being in your DJ booth, checking out the scene. I think that might have been the first time he's ever been in a pool club, maybe even a club in his life.
Really? He was like a natural, man. He was having the best time ever. He was kicking it. He was right in there during the headliner, like
having some beers. I mean, the cool part was Steve Aoki came on and nobody kicked us out. You know, that was cool. We stayed on the side. You know, and
because he owned that DJ booth, he was in there. It was amazing. He had such a good time.
He was like the OG old guy. Like, if he was in there with Mikey, then we shouldn't. You know, he's got to stay. So
I'm glad he had a
he
good
had a
time.
blast. I told him, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go see Mikey, the DJ that like lets me in and goes and hangs out at all the clubs. And I was like, hey, yeah, like we can go for an hour and then we can go do some other stuff. And we ended up staying the whole set plus all
I
of
know,
Steve
right?
Aoki's set. Had
That was
endless
epic.
buckets of beer. I mean,
Yeah. Hopefully some
total.
chicken fingers in there. There's some good food over there too.
I know, dude. They do have some good food there.
Yeah, it
So
hits right. It hits right.
that was a time I'll never forget. I mean, me and Dad don't normally do a lot of stuff like that, but to take him into the DJ booth at 63, and
That's a cool experience.
he had a blast, and we met those two random people that's friends with a buddy of yours or something. Remember the
Yeah.
blonde girl and the bald
Oh
guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love those spontaneous days where you just don't plan anything and it
You
just
don't plan
happens, and
it.
like those are the best
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Still
And
count them to
like
this day.
and
Those are
like you
always the
try
best
to
things.
just say, oh yeah, like we'll go say hi, and it just ends up, dude, the vibe is too good, and we're just gonna hang out, chill, and have a good time.
You gotta roll with it.
So
I love that.
I'm grateful for it. My dad is so grateful for that experience,
Good.
and
Tell him I said hello.
dude, well, I don't know when we'll do it again, but I know he always has a softball tournaments out in Vegas. So the next time,
Yeah, we'll run it back for sure.
yeah, we'll.
Let's go. Part 2.
Because he loved the scene, dude. I mean, no better place than girls in bikinis and drinks flowing, guys fist pumping. So, dude, it was
Yeah,
a
it was a great
blast.
vibe. It was a
Thank you,
fun
man.
time.
But dude, our hour is up, unfortunately.
Oh wow, just like
but
that.
dude, I told you it goes by quick, man. So,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and you still got what, an hour you said of free time until you got some other like obligations, responsibilities. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
always got
dude, thank
something
you.
on deck, but thank you, man.
No,
Thank you for having me. It was so fun just to catch up with you, and I love that you're doing this podcast. And this is my first podcast, actually.
hell
So,
yeah.
so
You got to start
many more
interviewing
to go.
all the DJs you're friends with, dude.
I was just
Like
thinking, I was
something,
thinking about it this morning. I was like, it would be fun to just chat with my friends
dude.
and
Just chat.
do
I
it,
mean, like how
Cool.
Joe Rogan does it. I always see a cool podcast is two people chatting, sipping on some drinks, maybe smoking weed, whatever you want to do. Like, dude,
Mhm.
it's a free world. Like, do whatever you want to do, but you're
Yeah.
just hanging out, chilling, and somehow there's a microphone there that's just recording everything. Like, that's a true
Exactly.
podcast, not a
I love that.
interview style. Just two people chilling, hanging out, and getting to know each other and talking story or memories, and like that's
Yeah.
what I think a true podcast is. So
It is,
again,
man.
dude, thank you. I can't wait
Thank you.
to be back in Vegas whenever the heck it is. I know it'll be sometime soon. Who knows? Maybe Super Bowl. But dude, thank you.
Thank you,
Go
brother.
kill it. Go kill it on your sets this weekend. I'm always
Yeah.
reposting you.
Will do.
Yeah, dude. Thank you again to No Filter Network. This is Peeling the Banana, episode 8. DJ Mikey Francis. Hey, where do people follow you at?
DJMikeyFrancis.com. Or you can go to my Instagram, Mikey X Francis.
Mikey X Francis. All right, dude. We'll be following.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, dude.
Thanks, Braylon.
Much love. Later.
Later.